Welcome to Pillow Talk with Alex, the show where love gets real and laughter gets loud. Each episode, I sit down with couples to ask the funny, the awkward, and the sometimes deep questions about life, love, and everything in between. From first fights to weird habits to the things that they still argue about, it's all on the table. Or, should I say, the pillow? So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's dive under the covers of couplehood, one story at a time. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Alex, and today I am welcomed by Gil and Amanda. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, excited. We're loving the weather, we're loving the times.
Oh, not today's weather, but
Today's a little cool, but we can't complain.
Yeah,
So.
Here in the studio, it is 74 degrees.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was 80.
It was 80 yesterday. And
Yeah.
the day before,
it was like a real feel of 103 or something.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Even I had to sweat.
You sweat too?
I do.
No, I meant
Crazy.
that day. I know you do sweat.
Fun fact, African sweat.
Yeah.
No, we don't sweat, we glisten.
Jeepers. Oh, my word. Now, I've always wondered, do you guys, obviously you guys get pimples.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We get everything that you get except melanoma.
Must be nice.
Well, it is true because melanoma is actually a cancer that comes because the sun rays get to your skin without the protection of melanin.
Yeah.
And if you've noticed, we have it in excess.
Yeah.
True story.
He even gets suntan, just FYI.
Suntan.
I get tanned, but I use my ring so that you can tell.
His watch
Can you
line.
tell from the ring line?
Move your
I-
hand. There, yes,
I get
can.
tanned. No one
Yeah.
can see it back home, but there is a tan line right there. And if I'm wearing my watch, there is a tan line. So
Wow.
Never
Yeah.
know.
That's pretty cool.
I'll be going to a tanning booth near you
Yeah,
soon.
definitely don't do that.
I will not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, tanning booths are not. I don't advise that. Bethany used to go she would go to a tanning booth. I don't remember how many days a week, but
Yeah.
every week.
Ooh.
And I was like, nope.
He'd be the first Ugandan to come with skin cancer.
That would be true. That would be true. I would be the first. I've been the first of many, but in many things.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get right into the questions here. I hope that you guys are ready for some of these. They're really not that bad.
We hope we're too.
I'm hoping those will be a little more in depth, but we'll see. So let's start with the first one. How did you two meet?
Do you want the guy version or the girl version?
I want both.
Ah.
Both versions.
I'll let Amanda go first.
Okay.
His is super fast. So I like our story. I think it can fit into a lot of categories, honestly. We both were with an organization called Word of Life. And at the time, it was in 60 some odd countries around the world. I had gone to the school in New York as a 25-year-old. A lot of life changes happened to get me to that point. But the second year students all take a missions trip. And I'd always had this heart for Africa. I saw Uganda on the list of places that we could go. Went. He was working with Word of Life Uganda at the time. And we became friends like right away. He was crazy and flamboyant, and I was a lot more crazy back then. And he really was the first person that I saw that could be a Christian and funny at the same time, like serious about his faith and hilarious at the same time. So we just kept this friendship. We would email back and forth, once in a while about what was going on. And yeah. And then I went on staff at Word of Life, and we had another trip coming up, and they were in need of a pharmacist for that. And I had worked through college before my time at Word of Life as a pharmacy technician. So I went on the trip as a pharmacist and really was feeling like, oh, I think I might actually be moving back to Uganda full time. So I messaged him and said, hey, I'm coming back. This was 4 years later?
Mm-hmm. This was 2010.
2010, yep.
Yeah.
So we were super excited to see each other again. There was nothing romantic there at this time on my part. Went back, had a great time.
On mine either. On my part either. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a great time, realized, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be full time. So came back, told my office that, and then started, raising support as a single missionary and stuff. This guy was like, hey, since you're coming back full time and we both do the same thing and we have, the same grounding, same faith, same beliefs and stuff, like, why don't we attempt this whole thing together?
Save on money for rent.
And I told him, no, thank you. I'm good with it. But there's one thing you have to know about Ugandans is they are very persistent. And he asked again, and I declined.
Now, how long of a distance was that between him asking and then no, and then asking again?
Oh, I want to tell that part. Because the pain was on my part.
Well, you should actually say where the first no was.
So this is what happened, and this is the painful part of being a brother, okay? Because right now I can look back like Caesar and say, Vini, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered, because it was a fight, right? But what happened was, so we didn't have then as much internet access as people have right now. Because here you can have internet. Your phone has it everywhere you go, right? But in Uganda, if you wanted to access internet, you had to go to these, we call them internet cafes.
Do you remember those from like way back when? Yes. So they still had them.
They're just public facilities with facilities. They're public places with all these computers, right? You just sit and do that. Now they had these big cameras at the top of the Pentium 4 computers, if you know the ones I'm talking about. So those are the ones I used to connect. So we were chatting and I decided we were using Skype.
Oh, yeah.
For the generation of now, Skype was the thing. So while Skyping with her and talking, there were guys around who, without minding their own business, could hear everything we're talking about.
And that's another thing. Ugandans do not mind their own business. So.
They will listen to everything.
Because you're in a public place.
Yeah. It is public. Everyone is there. Your business is theirs now. Mm-hmm. So they were waiting to cheer me on because I'm talking to a white girl. And they're like, this dude is going places, like he's got this. And we're talking and chatting. And so I ask with boldness, I'm like, hey, short story, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Take this journey together.
Yes, but I'm just putting it this way. And so all these guys are on the side just waiting. They're all like anxious, like, dude, this is the moment. And she goes like, no, closes the thing.
Yeah, I did shut it off, didn't I? I did.
Holy Moses, that was quick.
That was the first time.
Yeah, that was the first of many.
Oh, we got to go through them all.
Oh, okay. So then I go back. What was
Actually,
this?
I think it was a 3-week period, wasn't it?
Let me preface. Were the guys that were around you, did you know them? Or were they just...
Because in Uganda, you make friends quick. When you say hi to someone, now you're friends for life. So yeah, we'd met. We were amazing. And the way they pretended after that, like they were just sweeping or this guy is picking cobwebs.
There was no consoling.
No. You guys are liars from the pits of hell. Look at you. How could you do this to me? No, I knew there were. But putting that aside, that didn't stop me from pursuing because, she told you, Ugandans, if you want something, you'll get it. So anyway, I don't know if this was a few days later, but we kept, chatting because I could.
Probably a week in between.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I could chat with her back and forth about things. And I'm thinking, man, I need to do better. So anyways, this other time I thought I'd convinced her. And I went back, we sat down. And again, I have my usual audience who by now they should be paying for my internet because I was the best entertainment they had in the town. And guys are watching and we're talking. And I'm like, so have you thought about this? And really like, and Amanda goes like, no, hangs up.
Again.
Yes. So this happened a few times until...
And the thing is, I liked him as a person. And we actually had a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
But
so all this to say, we got to a point where I figured if I ask her, what is it I can do? Then I can give her things that she can list out for me. And if I overcome those things, she'll say yes. So I said, what is it that I can do to show you that I'm all in? Which later on I thought, I don't know, she can tell you her version. But I think she figured I was in it for a green card. And
I was the one moving to Uganda.
But little did she know, she was right. Yeah. anyways,
That's a
different
story for another time.
Different story. But so here we are, and I asked her now on Skype, what is it all the, no, this wasn't on Skype. This was later on in chatting. What is it that I can do, for this to happen? She knew that her mother, Cindy, hi, she knew that her mother would never go for hard dating or whatever. She was really hard on guys, maybe just. So she said, if you get approval from my mother, we can talk. I'm like, say less. So so I reached out to her mother.
Who he already knew at this point because she also had gone to Uganda. So
Okay.
he'd met her and
Yeah, she came in 2010 with, the team because she's a nurse. So anyway, so we'd met. I actually translated for her in the small clinic we had. So yeah, we were friends. So anyway, so I write to her and I tell her my intentions for her daughter. And she's like, oh, you have my blessing. Go for it. Why not?
this is the most wonderful thing. I've never had anybody.
Wow.
She was like throwing praises for me. I'm like, say no more, woman. You're making
And
me
then
blush.
he forwarded that to me.
Yeah. So anyway, as we're talking, Amanda says, just because my mother has said yes doesn't mean I will. Hang up. So this
I know.
savage,
It's true. It's true.
this was painful. This was, if you could see black eyes on me, you could. I was being punched
So
left,
then
right.
the last time, it was a phone call. Now, working through a lot of things and seeking a lot of advice on this side and stuff, things started to change. And finally, on the fourth time, he said, look, I know I'm not a perfect person.
Mm.
All I'm saying is we both have the same goals in life. We're both with, the same organization, same ministry. And let's just try to take this journey together. What do you say? And I was like, okay. And he started laughing. He's like, wow, it sounded like you just said sure. I said, I did. And he's like, are you serious? And then I can hear muffled, like,
Oh, your crowd was back.
They were waiting. You think I'm just going to give up?
What, did you invite them all?
No, they were
no,
listening.
it was him. He had actually covered the mouthpiece of the phone.
My guys never got to know that I got victory. I think even to this day, they're still waiting. They were like, man, what happened to my dude? Like, how bad was his rejection? He never came back. They would probably pay for me right now if I went just to hear my story.
Probably.
Yeah, but little did they know I got my green card. Yeah.
So my thing with it too was just, it was the international thing. My old job worked with a lot of international people. We helped process and facilitate a bunch of visas and stuff. And it just was a very difficult process. And I didn't want any of that. And, having families literally on both sides of the globe was just too much to think of. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when she was pretty much denying you every
Yes.
time,
Yes.
did it make conversations between you guys awkward?
I don't think we ever had any awkward
I don't think
conversations
so.
because the thing is, our friendship had been built over the years through long distance relationship communication, even as friends, because we'd met in 2006. So we had been chatting on and off, right? So our conversation was never built on the dating. Our relationship was just, we were friends. So the friendship was always there. So we're still chatting, and I was on my part still pursuing. So my chats were a little more directed toward love. Yeah, and hers were like, oh, God is good. We had a quiet time. I'm like, oh, praise the Lord. I love you. But then there is this. And
But seriously, all we had was communication.
Yeah.
And we think that's why our marriage is so good because
You started with it.
yeah.
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 She was in New York. I was in Kampala, Uganda. That's lots of thousands of miles apart. And we were, even after she said yes, we dated since 2000, from the end of 2010 to 2012.
Yep.
And so we were just dating long distance, where people get to see each other and go on dates and sit together. We didn't have that. We were in two different places, two different continents, two different countries. And yet God helped us. He strengthened our communication through all that. That was a huge blessing for us. So from the end of October 2010 to the 8th of March,
Not end of October.
it was end of October. I insist on that.
November.
It was end of October because that's when I started insisting and getting denied. So for me, that's
But
when,
from when I finally said yes.
yes, but
That was closer to
for
like
you, that's when that
December.
started.
Yeah,
For
okay,
me, it
yeah.
started
Yeah.
before. Love knows no time. So anyway,
Long story, I know. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. This is kind of maybe a silly one, but who takes longer to get ready on the days when you really need it? And then how do you cope with that? How do you
Okay.
deal with that?
okay, I'll explain this first because this is going to be a weird one. I take long to get ready when I have like, if it's a normal work day, I will take very long. If it's like a special occasion, I will still take long. But the reason I'm saying I'm going to explain is because, dude, I get to the bathroom and I have to play my music. I have to like shave and look good while also singing to the music. I like getting in the groove of things. And so by the time I'm done and I get out, it's like an hour has gone by and Amanda is looking at me tapping her foot and going like, really? And I'm like, hey, it takes long to look this good. But unfortunately,
I'm like, you don't even have hair to do or anything.
An hour?
Oh, it takes him a very long time. I would say
sometimes, in all fairness,
45 minutes at least.
sometimes like an hour and a half.
I don't even know where to start with that.
Dude, you asked.
I know I asked.
He does. You know, once that music starts playing, like,
I want to sing every song that is playing.
Good for you.
It's a weirdness, but it gives me my,
or a podcast
Yeah,
or something.
I listen
Yeah.
to lots of
Yeah.
podcasts, but my day gets going when when I'm,
Yeah, that's a good start to your day.
Yeah.
It
Is enjoying that. Yeah.
I get in there and I make sure no one is coming in. I lock all the doors and then I just get in my groove of things. And
Although I will say, when it's time to leave the house to go somewhere altogether, I'm usually the last one out at that point, but not because I'm getting ready. I'm just doing all the last minute things.
So does that, when you first got married, did that really annoy you that it took him that long to get ready?
I remember it taking that long, but
it started
part of
taking
it
that
too-
long in the US.
and I think it was once we had
Okay.
kids, because we've always had like 2 bathrooms and,
Yeah.
you know, there was never the waiting really.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think I really noticed it till after.
But I think it's
Yes.
mainly the mascara that I have to put on. It's hard.
Oh my word. Okay.
You can't see it?
Okay. So, I got a third one here. Okay. At what moment did you really know that you loved one another and that this person was the one for you?
I know that.
So first of all, I'm the one who said I love you first. Even after she'd said yes. I'm the one who said it first. The woman hesitated many times.
For a very long
because-
time.
Very long time as well. This is after she'd said yes. But still, I worked for that I love you. The first time she said it, I said it in many ways. I said, I love you. I said 1, 4, 3, because, you know, that's code for I love you. I painted the I, then the heart, then the you. I did all those things, and I kept thinking of Frank Sinatra's L is for the way you, all the things. But as far as when the first moment it was that I saw her and I was like, that's the one. We were at the clinic for us that I put my foot down to it. But even before that, I've always thought she was pretty amazing. You know, that's what I would say. But for me, when I was like, I'm going to now fully pursue that girl, it was when we were there. She was busy serving the Lord, being a pharmacist and helping people. I was busy serving the Lord and being a very amazing stalker. Because I was like, ha ha ha. Yeah, because the day she was leaving, I gave her a chocolate, which I found out she hated because that wasn't her favorite. And I wrote a note, which was a poem.
Oh,
Oh, it was, I was very
do you
poetic.
remember it?
I still have it.
Oh,
It's
you still
such-
I
have
don't
it?
even want to hear it.
No, it
I
started
do.
like, I can remember the opening lines and here goes, radio
okay,
voice.
but first you have to explain some of because they speak British English in Uganda. So some words you're just
Yes.
like, what does that mean?
So in there was a word that means diaper. In Uganda, it is nappy, but the nappy is what you wear. So I won't get to that part though. But I'm going to say this. It was something like, when I wake up, I think of all the makeup that I will apply if you don't reply. You know, things like that. So it was a very, very romantic. If you need
Yes.
hints, just let me know. I felt like the love doctor at that time until she responded with, "Wow, that was really
That was
horrible."
weird.
I did. And I'm like, I gave the chocolate.
You gave the chocolate away.
She gave the chocolate away. She laughed at the
Dating
poem.
at this point.
No, we were, but I was like hoping
Yeah.
she would know that there's something brewing. And she's like, "Nah, there's nothing."
Nope,
But-
not
but-
with me.
You can tell your part.
I think for me, like, I think I realized early on that I did have very deep feelings for him. I definitely wasn't going to call it love by any stretch of the imagination. And he threw that out way earlier than I would have ever anticipated. And that was
I'm a
scary.
very loving.
Was it on the first Skype conversation?
No,
Oh.
no, no, not at all.
I love you. Hang on.
But that was very scary for me. And, you know, after we got talking through a lot of stuff, like, you know, because we both had the conviction that, you know, dating was the intent to marry, you know, and not always does it work out, but that was, you know, where we both kind of stood. And we got to talking about it and realized I was afraid to say it, even though I did feel it. So finally I did tell him, and it took a while, but I had felt it long before I actually said it. So
And fireworks burst in the air, and
things got a lot more comfortable. Yeah, things got a lot more comfortable. And, you know, we were already older at this point. We were
Yeah.
late 20s
We were,
at this point. So, you know, things started shifting pretty quickly. My support had started coming in, and, you know, we talked to our bosses at our home office here, and yeah, like, so we started talking marriage quite
Oh, we were not
right after
wasting
that.
time.
Yeah, no.
We were like, "Hi, will we date? Yes. We're getting married."
well, that's the whole point, right?
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Dating should end in marriage. You're not testing the waters at that point. You date to marry, not date for fun.
And I felt like we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's before we actually started dating. Like, we talked through all the things, and
Deal breakers,
Yeah.
what should be,
Yeah,
what
so-
shouldn't be. So yeah, that really helped us. It gave us a good guide for what we wanted.
totally
ended up.
untypical, but I know.
No, that's awesome.
True.
All right, next question. Describe each other's driving in 3 dramatic words.
3 dramatic words. Wow. Am I describing hers?
Correct.
Then she'll describe mine.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. 3 dramatic words. Okay. I will think of this. I will think, we still want to be married after this podcast, right? Okay. Just trying to think through here how I'm going to drive back home after this. We came with 1 vehicle. So you go first.
3 words is hard, though. Fast, number 1.
Oh.
She's not lying. She's not lying.
Babe. I will say, because if I feel like he's getting too close, I'm like, babe, babe. I always hit the side of the door.
Yep.
Babe, babe. So that one. And 3rd, I will say, what's the word I'm looking for? Because you drive in all the circumstances where I will not. So brave.
Well, thank you.
Fast, babe, brave.
Yeah, and I'll explain that. Then I'll tell you more about. I'll then describe hers. But my wife is. I do not know where I would be today if I never got married. You know, granted, I started driving in the 90s, but like she has been the reason that I have been protected from things.
So many things.
From running traffic lights, from running over pedestrians who are like 5 feet away from the road. Just, you know, it's one of those things that you need in your life. If you have a wife, you'll be the best driver. They keep you calm. They help you know that, you know, your wife will help you know that, you know, there's something deadly ahead. It might be like in Iraq, but it's ahead. So just be careful.
Slow down.
Slow down, and it helps us. You know, when
Yeah.
when we're driving 75 and I do 76, she's like, "Babe, we are cruising. It's Formula One. Please slow down." I really appreciate everything about her.
Or that
So-
the car a mile ahead of us has their brake lights on.
So I'm gonna describe her. The first word I'll use is safe. I'm trying to be serious here. So safe. And
Okay.
I don't know if I need to explain that, but maybe I should. Safe. Why? Because when she drives, I feel very, very safe. Granted, sometimes I'm like, maybe,
A little too safe?
yeah. But it's one of those things that when we're driving, she tells me certain stories about, she's told me before about, so of the two of us, I've never received a ticket in my life.
I've never received
Praise the Lord.
a ticket.
I've never been pulled over by a cop.
Okay.
Okay. You staring at her.
But anyways, I am the one here who has hit a deer, and she rolled over her car, which is a different story.
I did
But that
not
was in the
roll
past.
my car.
Oh, what happened to the vehicle you had in New York? The one that ended up in the accident.
Well, it was in a ditch, but I
Oh.
didn't roll.
How to get into the ditch?
Debris in the road.
That debris.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't. There
It
was
wasn't.
debris, and it was winter.
And it like busted my tire and my
Oh.
whole front end. It was totaled. And
It did not roll over.
actually, that was like a week after I came back from Uganda.
From Uganda. See,
It's your fault.
it was. It
Yeah.
was. That's why I said safe.
Yep.
Safe, Alex. Stick to the word. The other word I could use is, what can I say?
You know, it looks troublesome when you have to think really hard.
I have to.
She was very quick.
She knew. She knows. She always knows what she wants. I have to think of what she wants me to think of what to say for her. I could say a word like determined, because when we're gonna go to a place she wants to go to, we're gonna go there. We're gonna drive and go there. And I love that we agree together that she is going to go to where
Yeah.
we want her to go. So we get there.
That's fair.
It makes me feel like a good husband, which I am, right?
You are.
Okay, good. So the last one would be what? Oh, I can't think of this one. The reason is we haven't been in many situations with her driving because I've been driving. I don't do that because she's a bad driver. She's amazing. I do it because a man should drive his wife. Crazy sometimes, but also drive her in the vehicle. So what's the other one? Oh, this is a good one. What is the word? What is the one word for someone who doesn't know anything happening on their dash?
Oblivious.
Yeah, that would be a good
We'll
word.
go with oblivious. Sometimes
That's
she's
true.
driving, and when she comes home, I'm like, by the grace of God, you made it home, because that little thing is on E.
I do not look at my gas tank. I don't even think to. My mind just doesn't even think, hey, you should probably look and see where it's at before you leave.
How not though? Like if you were going on a trip, would you think of that?
I don't, because he takes care of it always. My mind just doesn't even compute that should be a thing that you do.
But I've heard stories that many ladies, that's not something that's a concern to them. And no offense to them, but I just think their minds are on other things. Like, I need to get to Walmart and find the latest sale. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to go to that place and back. The journey from home to there is on the man. You need to make sure I get where I'm going. Because
It's so bad. I know it is, and but my mind just doesn't go there. So yeah, it's true.
but she's safe when she does, right? I'll say that again. So
All right, next question. What does home mean to you in the context of your relationship?
you want to start?
So I grew up with my dad, full-time military, and we moved every 3 to 4 years, our whole life, clear until I was a junior in high school. And our definition of home at that time is my definition of home now. It's wherever we are together. So, sometimes we've moved a lot in our marriage. And yeah, wherever we are together, we're home.
Yeah. I would use the very first word I gave her for driving to describe home. Safe. I give Amanda a lot of credit in this because you know how they say a man's home should be his castle? My home is my castle, and I know that all because of her. She's allowed me to be able to go out and minister and do everything, because at the end of the day, I know that I can come back to a place where it's safe, where I'm respected, where I'm a man. And she's allowed for that to happen, because in this day and age where most men are looked down on by their wives, that's not the case for me. And it's a blessing for me that God gave me a wife who sees that and respects me and hears me. And for me, that's something that I'm forever grateful for in our home. So for me, it's a safe home. Is safe. Home is a place I can be myself. And
Yeah, you're the same at home as you are
Everywhere.
everywhere.
else.
but we're talking about home specifically. Home.
Yeah.
Yes. Granted, on the street, I would still be doing the same things. But it's different. When you're home, you feel like you have control of everything around you. When you're out there, you just do not know. But when I come home and I find food, when I come home and the kids are running and they're still alive, that shows that someone has been taking care of the home.
I'll say he's the same, but the response isn't, sometimes he can be in an environment and his normal self, and then the response is awkward, or, like he can't handle a quiet situation or a quiet room.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't always appreciate that, but it's never awkward.
And some people are the opposite, where they love a quiet room.
Yes.
And they love that.
Yeah. I love hearing voices. People need to keep talking.
Yeah.
But I can be silent for like 13, 14 seconds. We can be silent. But then after that, I'm like, nah, let's not do this thing.
Yeah. I know. I have that with like myself. Like I'll be sitting there, and if it's too quiet, I'll just talk to myself.
Oh.
And I'll be like, what am I going to do today? Yeah, I could do that.
I don't think I'm like that though. That's
No, it's psychotic. It's okay.
Oh.
You'd be more likely to turn the radio on or something.
Yeah. That's different.
But most of the time I listen to music.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't sound as crazy then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, about me. Let's move on from that. We're going to do some couples game questions.
Yes.
Can you pass me a little stack of that?
We'll give you that right there.
Sounds fantastic.
Yes.
All right. So I'll read the rules because this is kind of neat. So there's 3 different games into this. There's match, which is you have to try and match each other's answer. There's best, which you want to put the best or the funniest answer. And then there's me or you, which is choose your name or your partner's name based on what you think.
Okay. Cool. So we need a pen for this.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it tells me right on the top what type of question it is. So I'll say what it is.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
So this one's match.
Mm-hmm.
What is the coolest thing that you guys have ever done together?
The coolest thing. Oh, we've done many things. The coolest thing.
One that you would put right at the top of the list.
Okay. I'll put.
And then once you're done, let me know,
Yes.
and then I'll ask each one of you which one it was.
Okay.
You all done?
Yep, I'm
Right.
done.
Amanda, what did you put?
Being engaged at the source of the Nile.
Oh!
You both had it. Wow, point.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
So you have to elaborate a little bit, like.
Well, so the River Nile, you tell this one.
So after we had been, discussing marriage and stuff, my boss was saying, you guys really need to make things official and get actually engaged because, I had been raising support as a single missionary and we would start raising together. So they sent me on a trip over specifically to get engaged.
Oh.
So we got engaged like 3 months before we got married because we had already been planning our wedding at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good time.
And we went, he knew like what kind of engagement I wanted, like, that I wanted it just the 2 of us and things like that. So, we went over, we had this perfect day. Our very first, honestly, real date that was not on Skype or phone calls.
No witnesses.
Oh,
And
wow.
I knew that that was the day that we were actually getting engaged. We went through this whole day at the beach and everything and came home at night and he never asked. And I was like, what? Like that was
What a fool.
the perfect day. Like, well, the next day we
She
were
was,
going.
just so you know, she was staying at my mom's. I was staying at a friend's.
Yep.
So when she said, and we came home, we were not going to the
Right.
same home. I want to make that very
Right.
clear. So I dropped her
Yeah.
off at my mom's.
So the next day we were meeting up with a bunch of friends and we were all going to one of my favorite places, Jinja. And that's where the source of the Nile River is.
What is
And
Jinja? Is it a restaurant? Is it a?
It's
It's a
town.
city.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a town.
It's a town. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to realize I have no idea what you're talking
I know. So
Sorry.
I was born and raised in that town in
Yes.
Jinja. It's on the eastern part of Uganda, and that's where the Lake Victoria is.
about. Okay.
And Lake Victoria is where the River Nile starts
Okay.
Mhm.
and goes
That's pretty
all the way
cool.
up through Sudan into Egypt.
Is it a
Yeah.
pretty place?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
It's gorgeous. So we went there and I think that was my first time in Jinja.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And loved the place. We played volleyball with our friends. We did all kinds of stuff there. And I was like, there's no way, he's going to do this today because we're surrounded by everybody and he knew what I wanted. So we had actually tried to play volleyball and there was no ball. And he's like, okay, let's go up and get the ball from, I don't know, what was it, a desk
Yeah,
or something
they
that you
had
had
some,
to check things out. So we walked up there and he's like, come here for a minute. And there's this hut. And I was like,
We left everyone down there.
I said, I can't.
Waiting.
Our friends are waiting for us for the ball. And he's like, just give me a minute. So he's making me sit in this chair. And I'm sitting there like, I called him Gil then. Everybody called him Gilbert. Now it's different. I call him Gilbert. Everybody calls him Gil. So I'm like, Gil. I'm like, everybody is waiting on us. We have got to go get this ball. This is rude. And he's like, just give me a minute. So he starts talking. I don't even remember all of the things that he was saying. And then I remember like you reaching it in your pocket or something. And I started like, what? Oh my gosh. Wait, what?
No, that's not what she said. She said, no, get up.
Yeah. Oh,
Get up. You lie. Get up.
He got on his knee and that's what I did. I'm like, what are you? Get up. I'm like, no, this isn't even funny because I knew it wasn't going to happen there. And he's like, no.
I had fake proposed a few times.
He keeps, going and stuff. And I'm like, get up. We have got to go. And then he pulls out the box and everything. And it really is. And I'm okay. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
What are you sorry for?
My wife has like 344 alarms for everything.
I silenced my phone, but not my alarms, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I just kept telling him to get up, and then out he pulls this ring box, and I realized, wow, this really is happening. So I said yes, which that wasn't even a question. And we went and got the volleyball after and came down, and people saw the ring on my hand, and they were like, "What? You guys got engaged without us being around?"
They were not happy. They were
I
not
wouldn't
very
think
happy.
so.
Yeah, so they were not on my team.
So
for
then
volleyball.
we got on. We played volleyball. Then we took a boat ride.
Okay.
All of us on over to the actual part of the Nile
Where it
on Lake
starts.
Victoria, and that's where I took my first ring pictures next to Gilbert, who's wearing like 3 life jackets.
I took one, which I put on. Then I asked the boat guy if he had excess. So he's like, "Oh, you want another?" I was like, "What do you mean another? Do you have more?" So he got me another.
And
So
I was so sunburnt. Oh my goodness, I was so sunburnt that day. So like my picture is this lobster girl with this ring next to a guy with 3
puffy jackets around him. I was the safest I've ever been.
You probably felt great.
Oh, I was like,
I'm
this
not
is it.
drowning today.
There's no drowning because I think every leg of mine was wearing a jacket.
drowning and it's
this is good.
official, right? So 2 good things.
I felt safe. I can't swim, Alex.
Yeah,
I
I
swim
figured-
like a rock.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, we talked about that
Yes.
in a
Yep.
podcast episode
Yes, I
before.
remember
Yep.
it. But yeah, he says I ruined that part with the whole get up.
Kill the moment. But anyway, it did happen. Did happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if it was on Skype, she would have said no. True story.
Okay, so this one is the me or you.
Okay.
So you both,
Okay.
All right.
all right. So Who hogs the bed covers? Oh, Amanda's already. He's writing a book over there. You just put one name.
Does that help?
He wrote Amanda, her over there to her
arrow.
with an arrow.
I just thought I should be very clear. I've tried everything as far as those things are concerned. And you know how pride is in saying, I bought us this new blanket. It goes over the whole bed. In my mind, I'm like,
Goes over.
the more for you to take.
Yeah, goes over your side of the bed.
She will roll in it and then take more. And if I tag the little piece I have, because I have a napkin left, because I'm like, she's like, oh, man, I'm like,
You're hogging the blankets.
So have you ever thought of having two sets? So you have your own set, she has her own set?
actually, I have a Ugandan. I don't know who gave me that.
That was from Cheryl.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Cheryl. We love you. So got me this Ugandan.
Made a quilt for him.
Yes. And so I've laid it on top of my side.
It doesn't even matter if
So-
you have the quilt. He always sleeps with an extra blanket.
I do too.
Always.
For
So-
warmth and emergency.
So
When
he's
the
got
others are
something.
taken, I'm like, you don't get me today.
So kind of yes, to answer your question.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't know even what that question says. Okay. This is a match.
Oh, yeah.
Where would we go, we meaning you guys,
Mhm.
if we had a blank check? Blank check meaning,
Yes. We
You
could
know.
go anywhere in the world.
yes, go anywhere.
Are we talking, before Amanda writes, are we talking like long term or? are we
It doesn't
talking
say
like
it.
just-
It's whatever you would.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to do a short term
Okay.
and I'm going to do a long term.
Okay. So both.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I don't know. This one we won't. There's no way we'll match on this one, and then there is, I forget the name of it.
If you match on this, I'm going to be surprised.
Anyways,
Okay.
I've put the two places.
All right, Amanda,
but-
what did you put?
For short term, I
Yeah.
put the Europe train route. And for long term, I put Jinja. Uganda.
Okay, that one I put Missouri
Oh,
because of I forget the name of that place
Wow.
in Missouri. That
Holy cow. You guys are right together. Gil put Europe just like she did. Wow.
Yeah, I put. What's the name
That
of
is
that place
surprising.
I've always wanted to go to in Missouri? That's you grew up. It has like
Okay, Branson. That's
Branson,
true.
but
That's
yeah,
true.
but-
Yeah.
so.
That's
I was
true.
thinking
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I tell you, we went to Missouri
Yeah.
a little bit ago. It was beautiful.
It is.
I haven't been
I'm
to
yet
Branson,
to go,
but
but
it's
yeah.
really nice.
yeah. What's in Branson? What's in Branson?
we
Maybe.
need to plan a trip.
Yeah,
in the
we
near
should.
future. Branson, it's like the smaller version of Nashville, really. There's
Been
all
to
kinds
St.
of
Louis.
stuff there.
St. Louis was nice,
Yeah.
kind of, but
But we both got Europe, yeah.
I'm proud of you guys. That was good. Oh. Okay. This is the best, so the funniest one, okay?
Oh.
If we got arrested for doing something, what would it be?
Oh my.
Oh my. Okay.
Are we talking America? You give
America.
us. Give us. Okay. Because depending on where you are being
Okay.
arrested
Arrested in America
for doing something.
doing something, what would it be? The best, the funniest thing. And you both have to kind of match.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh.
Come on, Amanda.
This
You must
is
think
gonna
of something.
be- okay. This is a hard one.
It
because
is.
Yeah.
It
we
is
are not the
challenging.
most adventurous people, so I can't even begin to imagine.
I know. I'm really struggling.
This is we're not people who are good at doing illegal things.
Okay, so what if you
So-
were at say you're at a location and it says "Do not cross this line" or whatever? Are you the type of person where you're going to be like, "Heck yeah, I'm crossing that line"?
Just cross it a little bit. Oh, we are law-abiding citizens. We love our country. We sing the anthem every night before bed.
Honestly,
No,
So I said, that's a little much.
Oh wow.
This is not funny, but this is the only thing I could.
Hey, she thought of something. You better
She
think of
did.
something.
I am struggling now because I'm thinking, what would I be arrested for? And it has to be very funny.
Now, if you asked arrested for some years ago,
Well, there's something different, but okay, I don't know. Whoa.
Come on.
And then I can explain this some. I don't know.
this is a really hard one.
This one I have to explain, but
I know we didn't. Get
I
the
just
same
read
on
it. You
this.
sure you want to say it?
yeah, yeah, we'll stick to it. I'm wrong. I know it's not going to be the same thing, but
Okay, Amanda, you go first.
I put not completing the correct paperwork.
well,
And
what?
the reason I put that is
Mhm.
because, we did complete the correct paperwork, but that's the only thing I could think of is like, when we went through your immigration and and all that process.
Were you an
so-
illegal citizen?
Oh no. he
Oh,
wasn't.
you're gonna love this story, but I'll wait for
Oh,
it to
that's
finish.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Good times.
Oh my word.
Yes.
So something funny.
No, wait. Let's
actually
first
have-
see if
okay,
we marked,
all right,
which we didn't.
okay.
I said crossing into Canada.
Okay, but no, but it both had to do.
I
with-
know.
Yeah,
I know.
immigration things. So a funny story. The day before our wedding, we got married in Mars Hill. That's where I'm from originally.
Wait, did I not share this one? Oh no! I didn't share this one. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
The day before we got married, Gilbert was staying with an older couple from my home church in Mars Hill, and I was staying at my mom's house.
They've both gone to be with the Lord. No.
Yes. And his best man was a guy who was in the US, but he also was on staff at Word of Life Uganda. And
Okay.
he is a full Indian man, like from the country of India,
Okay.
full. So this older gentleman wanted to drive them around and kind of show them the town and show them how close we are to the border. So took them for a ride out around Mars Hill Mountain and stopped for a minute to show them where the old border crossing was over there and keeps driving. Mind you, this man is in his 70s at the time.
Mm.
The whitest guy that you can ever imagine.
Mm.
Perfect white hair, shorts, so his white legs are showing clear up to mid-thigh, white socks, you name it. Very
Yep.
law-abiding citizen. And up behind them pulls a border patrol truck.
I can just think of what
So
happens.
follows for a little while and pulls them over.
He did not light us up.
Yeah.
We went to the side, so he also parked behind us.
Yep. So stops the car and asks them where they're from. They answer, then asks,
Let me jump
yes,
in real
please
quick.
jump in and complete this
we,
part.
we pulled to the side, and then he pulled behind us. I then get out and go to him.
No, you did not.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my word.
Because I'm like, why is he stopping behind us? What is he doing? So I go, like, hey,
Mind you-
can we help you?
Gilbert's only been in the U.S. for a month at this point, and this was his first trip to the U.S.
So I walk over, I'm like, hey, can we help you? He's like, get back in your vehicle now. I'm like, well, that's rude. Trying to help you if you need directions, but okay. So anyway, go back to sit. This guy comes up to me. This is my very first time setting my eyes on someone who has a gun. The guy has a gun right here, and he comes eye level with his gun as I'm sitting and I'm listening. He's asking, "What's your name?" I'm like, huh? I'm like, Gilbert. So I'm telling you, my name is. He goes back to check. He's like, paperwork. I'm like, we don't have it. It's like at his. So the Indian best man also tries to help my situation by talking,
Oh, no.
but accent, everything. This guy's like, "Are you American?" He actually had his American passport,
yes.
but he didn't have it on him as well. It was at this gentleman's home. So we're like,
Because
it's
they're
at
out just
his.
for leisurely
Yeah,
drive.
of course.
We were not planning on that. So he's like, "I'll be back." So he goes and checks. Sounds like, your information doesn't match.
Oh,
So he's like,
no.
now another Border Patrol vehicle pulls up.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, we're having company. Now it's good stuff. So anyway, so they talk. Meanwhile, they have not talked to the guy driving us.
Mm-mm.
They've not asked him a question. Now, that's when I was like, really? Anyways, so, so they come to the conclusion, we don't look as deadly as we might seem.
Okay.
Yeah, from our accents, they could tell. But they were still sure we'd crossed the border. And this dude here was a coyote that shifted,
course.
brought us through. So they say, okay, we're going to drive you to this guy's home, which I think they figured out. I think,
Follow.
yeah, we're
They
going
were
to follow.
following
We're
you.
going to follow you guys there. So he drove. 2 Border Patrol, was it 3? Border Patrol vehicles are following closely behind us. And as
All the
he's-
way to Bridgewater from
Yeah.
No way.
the very north end of Mars Hill Mountain behind it.
All that whole way?
Yes.
The whole way. So as we're going, he says to me, you know, if you want to get out of this marriage, all I have to do is make a quick right turn here and drive quick.
Oh, my word.
Please no. So we get to his house. They all pull up behind us, like SWAT. And so I'm opening my door. They're like, stay in your car, stay in your vehicle. So they tell him to go inside and get our stuff.
They
Or-
tell this older man
Yeah.
to go down into this room in the basement they
Yeah.
have made and dig through all of their personal belongings to get out their paperwork, their passports.
Yeah. So the guy goes and brings our passports and everything. They look through. So the younger of the Border Patrol crew, because they had an older gentleman, he was just sitting back and smiling at this. I think he already knew these guys are good. But the younger, I think he was a fresh guy from boot
I'm
camp.
gonna
He's
get my
proving
quota,
himself.
like,
Oh, yeah.
all in one
This guy
stop.
was using the 3-finger rule in our faces. Don't ever travel without your documents. Don't ever do this without your this. I'm thinking, I'm trying to catch up with his
At
English
this point,
because
he's
I'm
just
fresh. but I'm like,
mad because he didn't have a bus.
yeah, like he's just pointing fingers at us. I'm thinking, I have no clue what's happening, but this guy is not happy about something. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
so I almost got arrested the day before my wedding.
Mm.
And
So,
then
And then the whole grill stilling
Yeah.
incident happened exactly
2 weeks later
2 weeks.
to the day,
interesting.
I almost got arrested for stealing a grill. After anyways.
Yeah.
So they got the paperwork from down in the basement or wherever it was, brought it out, and they were fine with it.
They were fine
Yeah,
with it.
everything was legal.
Yeah, then they let us go. The one guy at the back there was just smiling. He drove away. I think he was like, oh, that was fun.
What a messed up situation. Whatever, I guess.
But we're friends with Border Patrol people now, and a lot of them agree like that was a young guy
They
that
will
thought
laugh
he
at
was
that.
gonna.
Yeah, he was a greenhorn and he wanted to get something.
Oh, he proved himself.
Oh, yeah, he wanted it.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Let's see. I don't know if I want to say that. What's the number one thing on your guys' bucket list?
Oh, my. Number one. We have a few things, but number one thing, like the thing to do, thing to have,
Yeah,
thing.
The thing on your bucket list, like before I'm not able to or before I die, I want to do this together type of thing.
We are boring and old, so
You can still have,
Probably not even the same wavelength of.
I bet it is. You guys are right on par with one another. You're probably the exact same thing.
I don't know. Amanda, you can go maybe, but
Okay, I can't even.
Own our own
All
piece
right.
of land.
No. All right. You guys, this is ridiculous.
Here's the thing, Alex. We told you, like, communication was from the get-go. Like,
This is staged. You guys looked at all these before I even came in.
no, you had that. That's ridiculous. but
This
yay,
is
wow.
crazy.
We are
You guys are ridiculous.
the
You
thing
know,
is,
good for you.
the thing is, we've always talked about our dreams, about whatever it is we want. And for us right now, our biggest desire is to own a piece of land.
Yeah.
Hers is beyond just owning a piece of land and beyond having like a cabin. She would love to have a stream next to it, or like just the heavenly bit would be if the cabin is next to a river with like salmon flying out into our pots as we're cooking. But
So you want this to be your primary residence or just like a secondary residence?
For now, like just a place to.
just for now, like an escape,
Yeah.
a simple
Yeah.
that's our thing. Now I know most people have cool bucket lists like travel to Paris and eat a croissant in front of the Eiffel Tower. No, we're at that age where we're like cabin on our own land someday.
It's a good bucket list item. I
I'm
have
good
to
with
agree.
it.
It's good.
Yeah.
I tell you what, well, Dan has a cabin on the lake, and it is one of the most peaceful things.
Mhm.
You just go there and you sit. It's like everything just melts away, and you
It
just
does.
relax.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all because I'm only moving from point A to point B, but
But the whole atmosphere is.
it's the
different, and-
atmosphere.
Yeah.
You
It's
just sit there and it's
peaceful
like,
and-
man, this is nice.
Yeah. You get to escape, you turn off your phone. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how it
that's a
should
great item.
be. Yeah.
All right, let's do one more of these.
Sure.
All right. What is the nerdiest thing that you both love?
Ooh, that we both. Okay.
Oh, I have to think. We both have to love this.
You know, let's switch it up a little bit. What's the nerdiest thing that you love to do? Each one of you individually.
Each one of us. Okay. So
Yeah.
scratch the
The
first one.
nerdiest thing that he does, but
Actually, you
I
know
have
what?
something
Yeah,
for
we
both
could
of
do
us,
that.
but-
Why don't you do one and have it be one that you think is hers,
Uh-huh.
and then
And then
one
she would
that,
do one she thinks
yeah,
is
and
mine.
then you do your own, and then she does her own.
I wrote something nerdy that we do together,
Oh, you've done that?
and then underneath I'm writing something nerdy that
Well,
you do.
let me start. Let me write three things. The
Okay.
first will be what we do together. The second will be what I think she does, and then the third will be mine.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
You're doing that too, right?
She's already done.
Okay.
Gil,
So the
come on,
first,
hurry up.
I know. So the first is that
They're probably gonna match 100%.
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
The second is what I think she likes to do. I don't even think. Yeah. I'll just leave it that
Nerdiest
way.
thing I do.
The one I love to do is
The nerdiest thing that I do.
You know, it could be something you think is normal that other people think is nerdy.
that's mine. That's hers. That's ours.
Okay, I have my things.
Okay. The first has to be ours. The
Okay.
second is what you think of me, and the third is
Okay,
Okay.
Amanda, what do you think is yours together?
That we love to talk theology together.
I can't do.
Are we ruining your show?
No,
Okay,
I
that's
can't
the
do it
first one.
anymore.
We love to talk theology.
okay.
you guys are
Now-
ridiculous.
Okay, I don't think these other two.
These
things
other two
I,
would
might be.
and I don't
but-
care what you think because they're going to be exactly the
I
same.
think so.
So for his nerdy thing,
No, don't.
I put that he's a math nerd and he watches equations be solved on YouTube.
I cannot. You guys.
But this one I got wrong. Anyways, this one on hers.
I think
Anyways.
because I don't. The only nerdy thing I can think, which I totally don't think is nerdy,
Yeah.
but is crocheting. I don't know if it's what.
All right.
No,
I don't even
no,
want to play
have
this
to
again.
Show that, like.
I'm gonna end this right now. Japers, you guys. What are the odds? Every single one you got right.
Well, except the Missouri one. That one.
Yeah.
No.
Which,
But that is a place that we've been saying that.
yeah.
Okay, let's say 99% you got right. And both you like, no, there's no way. That's not happening.
Oh goodness,
all right.
that's funny.
That was, you guys are amazing. That's crazy. Can you
No,
set
this
those
is-
underneath those?
Sure.
And can you get me 3 of the most likely 2 cards?
Oh, those should be fun. I wish we had Bethany here because she would win them. She's been doing well.
All right. All right, let's see. Who's most likely to still have a Beanie Baby collection?
Oh, we don't have to write
You
this
don't have to write it down. You can just
take-
say it.
That would be Amanda.
Okay.
No question. That would be Amanda.
Okay, that was quick.
Yeah.
All right. Who most likely has old person tendencies?
I'll take that.
Well, that was quick too.
I'll take that.
He is an old soul.
Yeah.
I don't like this one, so
Okay.
get me another one.
I listen to all music.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
get off the grass.
All right. This one, I'm just thinking in my mind. I don't know you as well, Amanda.
Mhm.
I think this would be him,
Oh,
but I don't
no.
know. All right. Who most likely won't stop talking about their trip abroad?
Oh.
Ooh. No, that's Amanda. That's Amanda. That's
Explain.
Amanda.
Explain.
We went to Uganda. It hasn't stopped. We went to Uganda. That trip has never
But
stopped.
I'm still talking about all the other trips.
Every
everywhere.
trip she's ever had. She's talked about them going to Germany, which was in the 80s. She's talked about them going everywhere. Yeah, she actually still told me, like, was it last week? She told me about the trip they took to Romania and I think, no, to France using
Yeah.
Air India,
Yes.
and things like that. Yeah, so it's Amanda.
Yeah, it's me.
128%.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty impressed. So
that was good. That was good.
we'll
put
get
this
to
out here.
our final question that I have for you guys.
Sure.
I kind of usually pose a serious question at the end.
Yes.
So what is the glue that keeps you guys together and still loving one another, even when the times are really tough and then when things seem like they're falling apart?
One word, 3 letters.
I agree.
God.
God.
Simple answer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The thing is, we found out very quickly that when we put I ahead of us, it fails. Because when I want my needs met because of my selfishness, I will never satisfy any of her needs. And for instance, let me use something hilarious a bit so you can get the point here. But I love fried chicken, and
Surprise.
and she's not going to be a fan of that, right? So when I'm like, let's have fried chicken for breakfast, for lunch, for supper, she'll be looking at me and going like, my goodness, But there needs to be that balance. So if we don't have God and I'm trying to balance things, I'll be like, let's have what you like, which is, like white rice. And then I'll have some, that can only go so far. But when I fix my eyes on the Lord who made her, then that becomes very evident that he will direct me to do what is best for her. So God, 100%, he's our glue. But I'll let you.
Yeah, that didn't take long to think of as well. And, when I said communication was all we had, it literally was all we had. And we talked all the things. Like, we literally covered every base you can imagine because I was trying to justify why I was saying no to him, So all the bases. And, when we got married, we took our vows very seriously. And we knew that this was a commitment relationship. And, like he says, you can't be selfish when you're committed to each other because, any relationship, it doesn't matter what relationship you're in, it requires sacrifice,
Mhm.
right? And if you're going to be selfish, then you are not serving well, right? And Gilbert's really good at serving well. Like, I was just telling him yesterday, he had meetings and just a whole bunch of stuff, one right after the other. He had a 40-minute time period in there that he should have just come home and sat on the chair and turned the TV on just to get a little break. Instead, he knew my family hasn't had much time with me today. He said, let's get in the van and go for a ride. And we took the boys, to the candy store. So, it's those moments where you would rather, but you're still choosing to put, the other first.
God is amazing. Yeah.
I always said that, I was selfish when I was younger, but I figured out, and I have always said this since then, if you put the Lord first in whatever you do, everything else will fall into place.
That's true.
So if you want to make it less complicated,
Mm-hmm.
just like you said,
Yeah.
God.
God.
You have him first. Everything else will happen the way he wants it to happen, regardless or not. If
Yeah.
I want it to happen, it's going to happen.
Mhm.
So,
And that's very true. The
Yeah.
Bible does say it. Seek first his kingdom, and all the things shall be added. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. We love it.
well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was amazing.
This was fun.
It was ridiculous. I don't ever want to play that game again. But you guys have been a joy to have on.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens on the next episode. And that's a wrap of Pillow Talk with Alex. Big thanks to today's couple for keeping it real and reminding us all that love isn't perfect, but it sure is entertaining. If you laughed, cringed, or related to their story, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a little relationship therapy, or maybe just a good laugh. Until next time, keep the love loud, the stories honest, and the pillows fluffed.